And this may surprise you. The biggest threat to our social fabric in this country, to our budgets, to our health, is not an attack from abroad, it's Alzheimer's. It's Alzheimer's. You know somebody who has Alzheimer's, and if you don't think you know somebody who has Alzheimer's, you do, or are about to know somebody who has Alzheimer's. 50% of our federal budget, ladies and gentlemen, people talk about how we have to cut the federal budget, and we must, and I have. But understand, 50% of the federal budget pays for our elderly. The biggest driver of cost in our budgets and taxes over the near and long term will be funding our elderly. The biggest driver of cost in our federal budget is Medicare. The biggest driver of Medicare costs in our budgets is Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is costing our society about $203 billion a year right now. By the year 2050, Alzheimer's is going to cost our society $1.2 trillion. $203 billion now, $1.2 trillion by the year 2050. And our total research and development budget for Alzheimer's has been about $400 million a year and falling. Now, how does that make sense? Alzheimer's incidence skyrocketing, research to stop Alzheimer's, prevent it, reverse it, plummeting. That doesn't make sense. Well, we know empirically that if you want to build a middle-class economy and rebuild a middle-class economy, you do it by making investments in health research, medical research, biotechnology, and let me give you the proof of that. I was in California a couple weeks ago. You talk to the governor of California, and he will remind you that it was just a few years ago when the state of California was facing bankruptcy. Today, California's economy is booming. You know why California's economy is booming? Because California made a decision several years ago that they were going to become the stem cell research capital of the world. You go to California, new ventures are springing up, universities are getting funding, new partnerships are being forged to research stem cell. You go to Texas, you go to Houston, Texas, you talk to the folks at MD Anderson, they will tell you that their economy is booming. Do you know why? Because the state of Texas decided that they were going to become the cancer research capital of America. And if that's the president, I'm telling him I'm busy. And get this, you go to Kentucky. You know why Kentucky's economy is booming? Because in the state of Kentucky, they made a decision that they were going to invest in making Kentucky the spinal cord research capital of America. Kentucky! Spinal cord capital research center of America. And so, if California can do it, folks, if Texas can do it, if Kentucky can do it, Long Island can do it. Long Island can become the Alzheimer's research capital of the country. And we can do it because we have the competencies. We have Cold Spring Harbor Labs in our midst, which has 3 Alzheimer's projects. We have North Shore Long Island Jewish Health Systems in the Feinstein Center, which is doing incredible work. We have biotech companies and pharma. I started to think about this when I met a guy who has it's called United Biomedical in the Hauppauge Industrial Park. His name is Lou Reese. He's not a scientist. He's an investor. He's put $25 million into Alzheimer's research, and he sat down with me one day. He said, Congressman, I believe that we may have a vaccination against Alzheimer's. Could you imagine that? A vaccination to prevent people from getting Alzheimer's. I said, so what is it? Is it the science? I mean, that seems pretty amazing. When will the science get you there? He said, no, Congressman, we're about 3 years away. It's not the science. He said, it's the money. He said, I just don't have any research money to put into this. I go to the NIH, they tell me they've run out of money. Could you imagine if somebody had said to Jonas Salk, who invented the vaccination for polio, and I say this proudly as a graduate of Jonas Salk Middle School in Levittown, if somebody had said to him, sorry, buddy, we've run out of money. No. So I want to make Long Island the Alzheimer's research capital of the nation. Again, California can do what they're doing, Texas can do what they're doing, Kentucky can do what they're doing. Do not tell me that Long Island can't do what we need to do.